Is this connected to the cloud or not yet?
It is connected to the cloud.
Okay, so it will be recorded in the cloud. So I am Ahmad Razni, and I am currently in Qatar working in contract side, and current project is on hotel and mall, and with that hotel apartment. So with these three combined mixed use development project, I am working currently, and I have around 12 years experience in the industry as a planning engineer. So I will be your lecturer for the entire Primavera P6 course. So let's move on to the uh, content that we are going to cover on today's lectures. We will cover about project. So before starting Primavera P6, you should know about project. Without project, there is no use on using Primavera P6. So the understanding of the project should be there. And you should know about Project Management Institute, what is PMI, and you should know about the constraints in the project that we have defined as triple constraints. And there are 5 phases of project management, and according to those phases, you can develop your work breakdown structure in Primavera P6. So that is very important to know about the phases of project uh, management. And then we will have a short brief of Primavera P6 and how we are going to start Primavera P6 in the system. So this is what we are going to cover today. If we have time, we will cover all the contents, or we will continue on the next lectures. So the first item we are going to cover is what is a project in project management. So what is a project in project management? A project is defined as a sequence of tasks that must be completed to attain a certain outcome. So a project is defined as a sequence of tasks that must be completed to attain a certain outcome. So there should be some certain sequences, tasks, and it should be completed to reach what you have planned. So the outcome should be the same as your plan. So it is a project. According to the Project Management Institute, that is, we call it PMI, the term project refers to any temporary endeavor with a definite beginning and end. So PMI is telling the term project should be like any temporary endeavor with a definite beginning and end. So there should be a beginning and end to a project. Depending on its complexity, it can be managed by a single person or hundreds. So a project can be completed by a single person or hundreds. It can be thousands also. So depending on the scope of the project, the manpower or resource will be calculated accordingly. Okay, so just a minute. The slides are not changing. Okay, I hope you can see it now. So what is Project Management Institute? That's the second one we want to know. What is Project Management Institute? So anyone can tell me who knows about PMI already? Anyone knows about PMI already? Okay, so the PMI is the world's leading professional association for a growing community of millions of project professionals and change makers worldwide. So in the Middle East, there is a qualification they recognize for the project managers, that is PMP, project management professional. So if you pass this exam, you can uh, go for a project management uh, uh, job. So there is a one PSP, project scheduling professional for planning engineer. So it is given by PMI. So if you are planning for coming for abroad jobs, it's better to take these exams, PMP or PSP, or there are many other professional courses they are giving. So according to your qualifications, you can take those exams and you can put those qualifications behind your name. So as the world's leading authority on project management, PMI empowers people to make ideas a reality. As the world's leading authority on Project Management Institute empowers people to make ideas a reality. Through global advocacy, networking, collaboration, research, and education, Project Management Institute prepares organizations and individuals to work smarter in an ever-changing and dynamic world. Building on a proud legacy dating to 1969, Project Management Institute is a for-purpose organization working in nearly every country around the world to advance careers, strengthen organizational success, and enable change makers with new skills and ways of working to maximize their impact. So from 1969, Project Management Institute is for purpose organization. So from them, they released this PM book, Project Management book. Until now, they have released the sixth edition or seventh edition until now. So according to that, you need to study regarding the project management in construction or any other fields. PMI offering include globally recognized standards, certifications, online courses, thought leadership, tools, digital publications, and communities. So if you are a member of PMI, so you can use their recognized standards and you can get their certifications to make career growth in your professional, and you can get their online courses that is for your CDPs, and from thought leadership, tools, digital publication, and communities. So you can get the benefit from Project Management Institute in these ways. So what is triple constraint? The triple constraint is a model that describes the three most significant restrictions on any project: scope, schedule, and cost. So the most used constraints in the project is scope, schedule, and cost. The triple constraint is sometimes referred to as the project management triangle or the iron triangle. So most people, they will use this triple constraint as project management triangle or the iron triangle. In the typical triangular model, scope, schedule, and cost are constraints that from the sides of the triangle with quality as the central theme. So in the triangle at each corner, you will see scope, schedule, and cost. So in between these three, quality will be the central theme. So I will show the image after this slide. You can see how that iron triangle or the triple constraint will be looking. So an alternative to the triangle, the project management diamond adds quality as the fourth side of the model and changes the central theme to customer expectations. So compared to triple constraint, there is another alternative uh, project management diamond also there. So it adds quality as the fourth side of the model, and at the center, customer expectations will come. So the three constraints are interdependent. None of them can be altered without affecting one or both of the others. So if you have any changes in cost, it will impact schedule and the cost. So if you have any changes in your schedule, it will impact your scope and as well as your budgeted cost. Same thing, if you have any changes in your cost, you need to alter your scope and schedule. So it is dependent with each one another. So it is interdependent constraints. For example, if the scope of a project is increased, it is likely to take longer and or cost more. Likewise, an earlier deadline is almost certain to either require more money or a less ambitious scope. So, you know, if you want to uh, finish the project at the time, you will need more money. Or otherwise, if you take more time, it will cost more. So if you are in the construction, you know, if you take more time in the project, you will lose preliminaries cost and running cost. So if you finish the project on time, maybe you need to spend for double shift or any other extra materials or resources to complete the project on time. So it will cost more. The difficulty of satisfying expectations for all three constraints is sometimes expressed as big two, the concept that in any set of three desired qualities, only two can be delivered. So the difficulty of satisfying expectations for all three constraints is sometimes expressed as big two. The concept that in any set of three desired qualities, only two can be delivered. So for example, client want to keep the budget low, so the product is likely to take longer or be of lower quality. So a client is telling that this is my budget, I cannot go above this budget. So the production will take longer because you will use less resources and the quality also will be lower. So it will satisfy only one condition, but other two constraints will not satisfy the expectations. So this will be your iron triangle for the project management, that is cost, time, scope, and in between quality is your uh, center theme for project triple constraint. But the diamond project management diamond, the quality will be on the fourth corner and the customer expectations will be at the center. So you can see this project management diamond, budget, cost, time or schedule, scope and quality will be at the corners, and client satisfaction will be at the center theme. So this is the project diamond based on your company policy. It can be a project management triangle or project management diamond. So moving on to the fourth content, that is what is 5 phases of project management. So anyone can tell me the phases of project management or in the project? Okay, so managing a project is no easy feat. Yeah, Hari is telling that planning phase is there. Yeah, it is also one of the phases. So managing a project is no easy feat, no matter what the scale and scope are. From planning the minutiae to handling the ever-changing demands of clients to shipping the deliverables on time, there is a lot that can go wrong. So, to make a product and deliver to the client is not an easy task. So when you divide the project into manageable stages, each with its own goals and deliverables, it's easier to control the project and the quality of the output. So if you divide the project into manageable stages, then each goals within those stages and the deliverables will be easy to control the project, and the quality of the output also will be good. So in a project management guide, if you are somehow in a position where you are expected to manage projects for your organization and are feeling overwhelmed, it's better to start learning the basic stages of the project life cycle phases. So in a project management side or guide, if you are somehow in a position where you are expected to manage projects, so if you are involved in managing a project for your organization, and if you are feeling overwhelmed, it's better to start learning the basic stages of the project life cycle phases, because it will help you to manage the project uh, in a productive way. So according to the PM book guide, as I told you earlier, this PM book is released by PMI. So according to the PM book, Project Management Body of Knowledge by the Project Management Institute, a project management life cycle consists of 5 distinct phases, including initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, and closeout, that is closure, that combine to turn a project idea into a working product. So from PM book, PMI is defining that project management life cycle consists 5 phases. First phase will be initiation phase. Second phase will be planning phase. Third phase is execution phase. Fourth phase is monitoring phase. And the final one, fifth one, is the closure or a closeout phase. So if you divide your project into these 5 stages, it will be very easy to manage your project. So this is how it will look like. So you will discuss about your project in the initiation stage. You will plan the project how much resources, how much material, how much cost, everything in the planning stage. To execute, you will come to the third phase. So that will be your execution phase that will start. When the execution phase starts, the monitoring and controlling phase also starts at the parallelly, because when you are executing, there will be someone to monitor and control the project. So after these four phases, the fifth one will be your closeout or closure phase. The five basic phases in the project management process are project initiation, project planning, project execution, project monitoring and controlling, project closing. So these five phases we have discussed earlier slide. So as an image, you will see like this: initiation, second one will be planning, third one will be execution, fourth one will be monitoring and control, the fifth one will be completion or close out, or you can say closure of the project. So under initiation, you can define project goals and you can create a business case. So at the later stage of the lecture series, you will come to know about business cases and complete the project charter. So you will come to know about project charter also later on. Draw up the list of stakeholders. At the planning stage, you will define the scope of the project. You will create a project plan. You will have a budget baseline. You will have a defined role and responsibilities. So from planning phase, you will move on to the execution phase. There you will allocate project resources. You will manage project resources, build the product or process. So the project will start from here. So meet often and fix issues as they rise. So you will do these risk assessments, and when the risk is coming, you can discuss about those issues or risks, and you can fix those issues, and you can continue the project. So while execution, you can start monitoring and control phase as well, because you need to track effort and cost. You need to monitor project progress, ensure adherence to plan. You will check whether the plan and the actual is on the same line. If the plan is ahead of the actual, means you are in delay. If the actual is higher than the plan, means you are ahead of the plan. If the both lines are in same level, then the plan and actual are same. So you need to be more conscious on the plan and actual. If actual is below the plan, then your project is in delay. So prevent any chance of disruptions. So from monitoring and control side, you need to prevent any chance of disrupting your project. At the closeout or the completion phase, you will hand over deliverables. Hand over deliverables can be the as-built drawings, manuals, and spare parts, and all those stuff will come under deliverables. So you will review project deliverables, and you will get the project approved by the client, and you will document project learnings, that is called lesson learned. So for the next project, you can take this lesson learned and you can implement those lesson learned in the future projects. So these are the five phases that will be coming in the project. So in details, we will discuss now about project initiation, that is phase one. The project initiation phase is the first stage of turning an abstract idea into a meaningful goal. So the client will have an idea to create or build or manufacture a product. So that idea will turn into a meaningful goal at this project initiation stage. So the first thing is the idea will be turned into a meaningful goal in the project initiation stage. In this stage, you need to develop a business case and define the project on a broad level. So the business case means if you have the similar project previously, you can take that project and compare to your new project, and you can give the comparison in this business case. And in order to do that, you have to determine the need of the project and create a project charter. So if you create a project charter, it will be very clear to your client. The project charter is an important document consisting of details like the project constraints, goals, appointment of project manager, budget, expected timeline. So in one sheet, the client will know the constraints or the risk of the project, and he will understand the goals of the project, whether his idea is going to be a meaningful product at the end of this project. And you will appoint a project manager, so you will name who will be handling this project. And the most important thing, how much budget is going into this project. So that is the main important thing in this project charter. And the next important thing is the timeline of the project, how many days, months, or year to complete this project. Once you have the project goals and project scope, identify key project stakeholders, the people who are to be involved in the project. So when you set the goals for the project and if you define the scope, after that, the most important thing is to identify the stakeholders. So who will be involving in this project? So you need to identify the stakeholders in the project initiation stage as well. Continuing the project initiation phase, you need to create a stakeholder register with the roles, designation, communication requirements, and influence. So this is very important because you need to identify exactly who will be your stakeholder, and you need to register that in a log with roles, designation, communication requirements, and influence. Maybe the communication requirements, maybe for some stakeholders it will be daily, some stakeholders it will be weekly, some stakeholders it can be monthly, or some stakeholders they don't need any communication requirements as well. So the influence also you need to consider which stakeholder will influence the project. So you need to be very clear on your stakeholders at the project initiation stage. So while a clear goal of the project is, just a minute. So someone, Hari is asking, construction project management and project management are same or different? Okay. Construction management is the person, construction manager, project manager. There will be two persons. Construction manager, he will be dealing only with the construction, means execution phase only he will be involved. But the project manager, he will be involved from the initiation stage to the closeout stage. So he will be above the construction manager, So project manager will uh, be ahead of the construction manager. So that is the difference. From the salary point of view also, PM will get more salary than the CM. So that's the construction industry standard. So moving on to the next point, while a clear goal of the project is established in this phase, a project charter does not contain any technical details that happen in the planning stage. The next one will be consider the example of an automobile manufacturer assigned to develop an electric vehicle. For example, we will now consider a manufacturer like Tesla is going to develop an electric vehicle. So the selection of the design, capacity, battery power of the vehicle will not be a part of the initiation phase because it is purely a technical side. So in the initiation stage, they will not consider about the design, capacity, battery power, or in detail technical aspects will not be discussed in the project initiation stage. The only certainty would be that an electric vehicle will be developed within the given time frame and budget. So, for example, Elon Musk is giving instruction to the Tesla team that he has a $1 billion budget, and within this $1 billion, he need electric vehicle within 1 year time. So, this is what he will give in the project initiation stage. He will say to his team. So, after that instruction only, the team will develop the design, capacity, battery power, or in detailed technical aspects will be developed after this initiation stage. So the project planning, this is the second phase of the project. The project planning stage requires complete diligence as it lays out the project's roadmap. So project planning stage requires complete diligence as it lays out the project's roadmap. So without project plan, you cannot go on track with any projects. It's impossible. So unless you are using a modern project management methodology like agile project management, the second phase of project management is expected to take almost half of the entire project's time span. So this time span will be the same half time span for the execution, monitoring, control, and closeout, because all the small things will be considered, discussed in the project planning phase. So it will take a lot of time to come for a conclusion. So they will talk about the design, they will talk about the materials, how they are going to use, which material they are going to use. So from that, the technical aspect will take long time to come to a conclusion. In this phase, the primary tasks are identifying technical requirements, developing a detailed project schedule, creating a communication plan, and setting up goals or deliverables. So the main things they will identify in the project planning phase, as I said, technical requirements, the engineering side, what they are going to do, the procurement side, what materials they are going to procure. So these things will go in the technical requirements, and they will develop a high level project schedule for the time frame. Within this time frame, they need to complete the project, and they will create a communication plan within the stakeholders. As I mentioned in the project initiation stage, they should have a communication plan with the stakeholders who are involved in the project, and setting up goals or deliverables will be in the project planning phase. So there are several methods of setting up the project goals, but SMART and clear are the most popular methods. So to develop this technical, developing a schedule, creating a communication plan, or setting up goals and deliverables can be done by using SMART goals or clear method. So these are the two most popular methods that is used to uh, set up the project goals. So now we will talk about SMART goals. The SMART criteria ensure that the goals you set for your project are critically analyzed. So this SMART method will ensure that the goals you set for your project are critically analyzed. It is an established method that reduces risk and allows managers to make clearly defined and achievable goals. So SMART method is an established method that reduces risk. So it is most important to reduce risk in your project, because if you have high risk in the project, you can have more constraints that will affect your project. So you need to reduce your risk in the project, and it will allow managers to make clearly defined and achievable goals. So this SMART will reduce risk, and it will allow the project managers to make clearly defined and achievable goals. So SMART stands for S for specific, M for measurable, A for attainable, R for realistic, T for timely. So this is the acronym for SMART. Again, I will tell you the SMART stands for S for specific, M for measurable, A for attainable, R for realistic, T for timely. So this is the SMART acronym they have given for this method. So moving on to the clear goals. The clear method of setting up goal is designed to cater to the dynamic nature of a modern workplace. Today's fast-paced business require flexibility and immediate results, and clear can help you with that. So the clear method of setting up goal is designed to cater to the dynamic nature of a modern workplace. Today's fast-paced business require flexibility and immediate results, and clear method can help you with that. The acronym for clear stands for C means collaborative, L means limited, E means emotional, A means appreciable, R means refinable. So this clear method stands for C for collaborative, L for limited, E for emotional, A for appreciable, R for refinable. So moving on, during the planning stage, the scope of the project is defined. So in the planning stage, you will define the scope of the project. There is a possibility of changing the scope of the project demands it, but the project manager must approve the change. So during the project plan stage also, you can change your scope while the discussion is going on, but it should be approved by all the parties. When the project is execution stage started also, you can change the scope at the any time. You can de-scope some part of your contract, or you can award variations to the contract. So, but it should be agreed by all parties. Project managers also develop a work breakdown structure that is called WBS, which clearly visualizes the entire project in different sections for the team management. So project manager also develops a work breakdown structure. So this WBS is very important in Primavera P6 because you will break down the scope by WBS in Primavera. So under each WBS, you will add your activities for those work breakdown structure. So it is very important in Primavera P6. So that WBS will be very clearly visualizes the entire project in different sections for the team management. For example, uh, for a common project like a building project, you will define breakdown structure like this. You will have preliminaries as a first WBS. You will have engineering as a second WBS. You will have procurement as your third WBS. You will have construction as your fourth WBS. And fifth one will be your testing and commissioning WBS. Sixth one, you can go for authority approval and handing over. So these are the default WBS that is used in Primavera P6. So this WBS, it can change for very unique projects. So, but commonly these 6 WBS are used in project planning in Primavera P6, and you can use those in the next lectures when we go to that section. So a detailed project timeline with each deliverable is another important element of the planning stage. A detailed project timeline. So you should have a start and end date for the project, and for each deliverables, for each activity, you should have this clear start and end date. Another important element of the planning stage. So timeline will be the most or one of the most important element of planning stage. Using that timeline, project manager can develop a communication plan and a schedule of communication with the relevant stakeholders. So using that schedule or using that timeline, project manager can develop a communication plan with his team and the stakeholders, and he can create a schedule of communication with the relevant stakeholders, as I told you earlier. So continuing on project planning, risk mitigation is another important aspect of project management that is a part of the planning stage. So you need to identify the risk in your project. It can be internal organization risk, or it can be external risk. So you need to identify those risks in your project planning stage. The project manager is responsible for extrapolating past data to identify potential risks and develop a strategy to minimize them. So as I told you earlier, the business case will be very helpful for you to identify the potential risk in your coming future projects, or your lesson learned will have a good impact on your future projects. So according to that, you can develop a strategy to minimize the risk in your projects. An important element that professionals often overlook is an effective change management plan. So in the project planning stage, you can have a effective change in your management plan. So it will be a very good document. It can be help for your execution phase. As a project manager, you must be ready to incorporate a few changes in the project to avoid bottleneck and project delays. So don't be hard, or don't be in one stand in projects. If there is an issue coming to you, and if that issue will delay your project, you should have a solution, or you need to negotiate with those parties to continue the project without delays. It can be your subcontractor have some payment issues, or your material issues, or some issues. You should be very flexible on these uh, to uh, avoid your delays in the project. So in the absence of a working change management plan, scope creep happens and causes huge problems for the project team in the later stage of the project. So in the absence of working change management plan, scope creep happens and causes huge problems for the project team in the later stage of the project. So for example, I will tell you, in the current project I am working, there is a contract between our subcontract and us. The contract is clearly stating that sanitary ware will be provided by the contractor and the installation should be from the subcontractor. But the subcontractor has interpreted those clause, and what they are telling is they will only install the sanitary ware, but they will not apply any sealant for the sanitary wares. So this can happen at the later stage of the project. So if you have those experience in your previous projects, you can clearly mention in your contract or subcontract agreement that this sanitary ware is included with application of sealant. So it will be very clear for the both parties. So it's best to reduce the possibility of unforeseen changes as much as possible. Moving on to the project execution stage. The project execution stage is where your team does the actual work. So from the initiation and planning stages, this stage is where the actual work going to begin. So as a project manager, your job is to establish efficient workflows and carefully monitor the progress of your team. So if you are a project manager, you should establish efficient workflows and carefully monitor the progress of your team. Another responsibility of the project manager during this phase is to consistently maintain effective collaboration between project stakeholders. So this is very important point in project execution. The communication between the project stakeholders and the project team should be on the same page. Maybe if the communication lack happens between the project team and the stakeholders, there will be a big disaster will come along when the project goes on, because project stakeholder will expect something, project team will deliver something. So it will be a big mess up at the end of the project. So the project managers responsibility during this phase to consistently maintain effective collaboration between project stakeholders. So that's why the communication plan is most important thing while you are executing the project. You should have daily discussion with your project team. You should have weekly meetings with your client. And if anything outside the client, like government authorities or any other things, you should communicate regularly to avoid any delays or unavoided cost in your project. This ensures that everyone stays on the same page and the project runs smoothly without any issues. So if you communicate and collaborate with your stakeholders on a regular basis, it will ensure that everyone will be on the same page and the project runs smoothly without any issues. You can take help from collaboration software available in the market. They will not only make your life easier, but also improves efficiency and increase the productivity of your team. So this collaboration software, you can use Primavera P6 as well, but in some other projects they will use MS project or any other softwares. So it will make your life easier to improve efficiency and increase the productivity of your team. So now we are moving on to project monitoring and controlling stage. In the project management process, the third and fourth phases are not sequential in nature. So as I told you, it can be finished to start. That means the execution phase can finish and project monitoring and controlling can start. No, it will be parallel, start to start, because you will start monitoring your project from the first day, not from the end of your construction period. So the project monitoring and control phase runs simultaneously with project execution, thereby ensures that objectives and project deliverables are met. So as I told you earlier, the project monitoring and controlling phase will run simultaneously with project execution phase. Just give me a second. So Fazmin is asking that after being a construction manager for some years, can become as a project manager. Like with the experience only, what are the educational and experience will be required? So for construction manager or for the project manager, you should have a good educational background. Maybe a degree or masters will help you to grow in your career quickly, and with experience also. Maybe for a construction manager you should have around maybe to minimum 5 years experience. You can come as a construction manager. For the project manager you should have minimum 10 years experience. But to be a good project manager, you can have additional learning to develop your career. That is, as I told you, you can study project management institutes certifications like PMP, project management professional certificate. You can put PMP at the end of your name, so it will be an added qualification for you. And you can do a master's in project management or construction management. It will help you to grow your career. So the strong educational background plus experience will help you to climb up your career. And this Primavera P6 course will help you the same. If you know Primavera P6, you can easily implement in this in your projects, and from there you can easily identify the constraints in your projects, and you can easily mitigate those delays in your project, and you can successfully complete the project that has been given as a responsibility to you. So that is the purpose of studying project management and Primavera P6. As a project manager, you can make sure that no one deviates from the original plan by establishing critical success factors and key performance indicators. So if you are a project manager, you can make sure that no one deviates from the original plan by establishing critical success factors. So Primavera P6 will give you the critical activities So you can focus on those critical activities, and you can um, give it to your project team, and you can distribute, and your project team will take care of those critical activities in the project. And during the monitoring phase of project management, the manager is also responsible for quantitatively tracking the effort and cost during the process. So this is also very important point on monitoring and controlling. The project manager is also responsible for quantitatively tracking the effort and cost during the process. So he should monitor the plan versus actual, whether the project is on track, and he need to monitor the cost, whether the cost is under the budget or it has already uh, over budgeted for the project. So you need to control the cost as well. This tracking not only ensures that the project remains within the budget, but also is important for future projects. This tracking not only ensures the project remains within the budget, but this will also help you for your future projects. As lesson learned, you will carry out your future projects. So we will move on to the phase 5, that is project closing. This is the final phase of the project management process. As mentioned in PMI, project closing will be your last phase. The project closure stage indicates the end of the project after the final delivery. The project closure stage indicates the end of the project after the final delivery. After you complete the project, you will start handing over the project. So that is the project closing phase. It can start before your completion of project also, because the documentation will take for 2-3 months. So before completing your physical works, you can start the documentation before 2-3 months. So at the end of the project, you will be having all the documents to be submitted, as built to be submitted, manuals and spare parts will be ready at that time, and you will come out the project after getting the final completion certificate. Maybe you will get the partial completion certificate after 400 or 1 year. This maintenance period, you will get the full completion certificate for the product. So there are times when external talent is hired specifically for the project on contract. Terminating these contracts and completing the necessary paperwork is also the responsibility of the project manager. So what happened in my project now is we have back charged our subcontractor for their delay, and they also have submitted the extension of time and claimed for the prolongation cost. So today's meeting held between the uh, 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 project managers and the high management meeting, they have come to a conclusion that there will be no claim and no penalty for each both parties. So these contractual things will come at the end, and at the closing stage we need to close these contracts, claims and penalties at the end of your project. So there are times when external talent is hired specifically for the project on contract. Terminating these contracts and completing the necessary paperwork is also the responsibility of the project manager. Most teams hold a reflection meeting after the completion of the project in order to contemplate on their success and failures during the project. So this is the lesson learned meeting that will be conducted after every project's completion. So some construction team, they will do this. Most of them, they will not do this, because the team will be demobilized before the end of the project. So there will be no team, maybe 2-3% will be at the end of the project. So there will be no such meetings will be held. So Before demobilizing your team, it's better to have a reflection meeting, and you can ask each person that what has gone wrong in this project and how we can overcome these issues in the next project. So you can ask them same thing, what has gone very well in this project and can we implement in the future project. So there will be two lesson learned. One will be your failure, one will be your success will be discussed in this meeting. This is an effective method to ensure continuous improvement within the company to enhance the overall productivity of the team in the future. So this will improve your team's productivity in the next future projects. Continuing on project closing phase, the final task of this phase is to review the entire project, complete a detailed report that covers every aspect. So you will have a complete detailed report that covers every aspect in this project closing phase. All of the necessary data is stored in a secure place that can be accessed by the project managers of that organization. So these project closeout documents can be uploaded in a cloud and it can be given access to your project managers or for your higher management in your company. And they can access anytime at any period of the time, maybe 10 years after the project also, they should be able to access because to identify the risk on the same particular projects they are going to handle for the future. So maybe it can be saved in your servers, in your company, local servers also, you can save those documents and it should be protected by access should be given only for project managers. If you give access to everyone, maybe the delete files can be deleted. So simplifying your project management process. Nowadays, using cloud-based software is a common way of storing all of the documents related to the project. As I told you earlier, you can save your documents in cloud and you can give access to the most important persons to access those files. So that is one of the common way of storing of documents nowadays. Dividing a project into multiple phases gives the project a semblance of predictability. It gives a framework to operate, making it easier to plan and execute. So, dividing a project into multiple phases, that is project initiation, planning, executing, monitoring, and project closeout. So if you have these phases, it gives a framework to operate and it will make you easier to plan and execute your project. While spreadsheets and post-it notes sufficed in the past, the requirements of modern project management are completely different. So, previously maybe 10, 15 years ago, the people use spreadsheets, post-it notes for the projects and the room full, they will have drawings and everything. But in the modern project management are completely different because everything is in the system, in the cloud. So no one will have notes or anything, no papers will be available, everything will be in the system. So you need right tools to plan, organize and track your projects. You need the best project management software to simplify the project management phases for your project. So as I told you, the Primavera P6 is one of the best softwares in the industry to help you with plan, organize and track your projects. So now we are moving on to our fifth content, that is what is Primavera P6. So anyone can tell me about Primavera P6? Anyone has already familiar with Primavera P6? Okay, so we will move on. There are a lot of project management software tools to choose from, and there are few that truly seems to dominate the space like Oracle's Primavera P6. As I told you earlier, the Oracle's Primavera P6 is one of the dominating softwares in the construction or in the project management industry. How you can find the project management solution that fits your organization, project, and the way your team works? The first thing to do is understand what these tools are and the future said they offer. So the first thing is to identify what uh, s- uh, what will fit onto your organization and how your team is working, and you should understand the tools what you needed and what features uh, that you require. So that is the first thing you need to identify. If these criteria will match with Primavera P6, you can go for Primavera P6 software. So Primavera P6 is the product of the Multinational Computer Technology Corporation, Oracle. So this Primavera P6 is the product of the Multinational Computer Technology Corporation, Oracle. For such a well-known brand, it's a product that doesn't have great name recognition even among those in the industry. If we take Sri Lanka also, the most people they are using still MS projects, or even some project they don't have a schedule that can be followed to track the plan. So we should change to this advanced Oracle Primavera P6 software to identify these uh, project plan and tracking for our projects. So it's time to change that. Let's take a closer look at Primavera P6 to see what it can do and if it's right the choice for your project management needs. So we will look into the Primavera P6 and you can decide whether it is the right choice for your project management needs. Oracle Primavera P6 is a project, program, and portfolio management tool that is used for planning, managing, and executing your project work. So Oracle Primavera P6 is a project, program, and portfolio management tool that is used for planning, managing, and executing your project. So you can see the phases has been covered in Primavera P6. Even the closeout, uh, planning to close out stages can be covered in Primavera P6. It is designed to handle large and small projects in a number of diverse industries such as construction, manufacturing, energy, and IT. So this software can handle large projects such as nuclear plants, like airport projects, harbor projects. Those mega scale projects also can be handled by this Primavera P6 software, or small projects like a single story house also can be handled by this Primavera P6. So that's why this software is used in construction, manufacturing, energy, and IT industries. It's been doing for more than 30 years in projects across the globe. So people are using Primavera P6 for 30 years in the world. So Primavera P6 can trace its origin to 1983 when it was first established under the name of Primavera Systems. So first it was established on 1983 under the name of Primavera Systems. In the next 15 years, it would rapidly gain in popularity by the late 90s. Advancements in server technology drove the company to split Primavera system into two versions of the software. So they divided into a desktop application, which is preferred by contractors, suppliers, and manufacturing companies. And the second one is the web-based enterprise option. So after developed in server advancement technology in late 90s, Primavera system developed it software into two types. One is a desktop software and the other one is the web-based enterprise option. In 2008, Primavera system was bought out by Oracle. So Oracle came into picture on 2008. Until that, from 1983 to 2008, the Primavera system was the owner of Primavera PCs. So Primavera system was bought out by Oracle on 2008, who then developed the tool into the version that is used today. So what we are going to use today is the software that is developed by Oracle company. The modern incarnation sells itself as a tool to increase your efficiency when planning, which reduces the risk of schedule overruns. So this tool will increase your efficiency when you are planned. It will reduce the risk of schedule overruns. So it will be a very, just a minute. So Hari is asking, it is used in 30 years, why it is not famous in construction industry? As I told you, it is not famous in our country only, in Sri Lanka. If you come to Middle East or any other Europe countries, all of them are using Oracle software. I don't know why the Sri Lankan construction industry is still considering this as a major tool in their projects. Maybe it is because of the cost of the software. Maybe that's the reason they are not using it in Sri Lanka. Other than that, there is no other reasons, but globally it is used. If you're coming to Middle East, or if you are going to Europe or any other part of the world, you should know about Primavera P6 if you are going to work in project planning or project management side in your career. So moving on, one way it purports to do this is by providing visibility into the work. So potential bottlenecks can be identified and resolved before they cause delays. So you will have options to filter the 2 weeks look ahead program. In the 2 weeks look ahead program, you can see which activities are delaying the program. So you can concentrate on those activities to mitigate the delays. As the look ahead program, you can have a 1 month look ahead program as well. So from there, the project manager will distribute those activities for the responsible persons to quickly resolve those critical activities or quickly execute those activities in the site to complete and mitigate those delays in the project. So it claims to work on projects of all sizes. As I told you earlier, it can be handled for a single story house or a nuclear plant or an airport project also. You can use Primavera P6. So now we are moving on. Who uses Primavera P6? So that's the big question that people will ask. P6 is used by project managers who are in charge of delivering a project program or portfolio of projects. So Primavera P6 is used by project managers who are in charge of delivering a project program or portfolio of projects. It's not only used by project managers, though any project professionals can benefit from Primavera P6, such as engineers, schedulers, and others who are instrumental in planning, management, and reporting on the project. So it's not only used by project managers, but if project manager knows about Primavera P6, it is very easy for him to identify the delays or the bottlenecks of the project to overcome those issues. But most frequently, the planning engineers or the schedulers will use this software who are instrumental in planning, management, and reporting on the project. Whoever uses the software, it is usually recommended that they take a training course. So this is very important. The tool is built to help manage complex projects, and therefore using it can be complicated as well. So when you are using this software, it is very complicated. So without a training, it will be very difficult to use this software. So the tool is built to help manage complex projects, as I told you earlier. And for this purpose, you should have to take a training course to identify those complications within the software. So what are the features of Primavera P6? So we will now look into closer of Primavera P6. It's a tool that works on an enterprise structure. First, it's a tool that works on an enterprise structure. That means it goes from the highest level of management on down the line of project members. In terms of the key features, they are as follows. So that means it goes from the highest level of management on down the line of project members. So from the project manager to the supervision staff of the project, it will come down to all the levels. So in terms of the key features, they are as follows. The timelines, a traditional Gantt chart to schedule tasks on a bar graph. So the feature is you will have a table with activities, start, end dates, and all those columns, and you will have a separate traditional Gantt chart as well in the Primavera P6. You will have a risk management. So to identify, track, and resolve risks before they become issues. So as I told you earlier, before the issue arises, you can identify and resolve those risks in your projects. Information dashboard, a dashboard to track key project metrics. Reporting and analytics, ability to generate status reports for stakeholders. So weekly, daily, monthly reports can be generated by Primavera P6 to submit for your stakeholders or for your management requirements. Resource analysis and allocation. Keep track and reallocate resources as needed. So you can keep track and reallocate resources as needed in your project. Calendar and activity views. View project tasks set over a calendar view. So in this calendar, you can include the holidays, public holidays, or your organization holidays. So the schedule will not impact those holidays. We will learn about these things in coming days. So continuing the features, portfolio and program management, able to manage multiple projects in a program or portfolio at once. So as I told you now, I am handling now around 6 projects in one Primavera P6 software. So you can open it in one window without closing the program. So that is the most important thing in Primavera P6. Contract management, manage multiple projects, get into from database fast. So as I told you, for the contract management side also, if someone wants some information, they can get into the database and they can access the project and see what they want. Scheduling alerts keep the project on track by always knowing what's due when. As I told you, if you have planned one activity to be completed today, but that activity is not completed today, means it will delay the project. So you can filter those activities and see and track by knowing what is due and when. So pros and cons of Primavera P6, that is the advantages and the disadvantages of Primavera P6. There are some things that Primavera P6 does well, along with some features that have some drawbacks. If you are still on the fence, here is a look at its advantages and disadvantages, that is pros and cons. The advantages of using Primavera P6 is it is flexible when it comes to organizing lots of activities. You can add activities more than 10,000, 20,000, maybe 100,000 activities in one project. So with one platform that allows users to prioritize, execute, and monitor their work. A multi-user system lets team work at the same time on the same project across the organization. So as we discussed earlier, there are two versions that we discussed, but there are three versions now. One is the professional version that we are using as a single user. There is a web version that we can use from the cloud, and there is a third one is the enterprise version. That enterprise version can be accessed by multiple users. Real-time reporting provides meaningful data delivered fast, either on demand or scheduled. So real-time reporting provides meaningful data delivered fast, either on demand or scheduled. Continuing the advantages of Primavera P6, the dashboard allows users to manage a single project or even a portfolio with great flexibility. As I told you, from the dashboard, you can use a single project or even multiple projects with great flexibility. Primavera P6 integrates with Oracle and other third-party products like Excel. You can import data, export data with Excel and other things like HTML format with support Primavera P6. So there are some other third-party products also will integrate with Primavera P6. P6 can be used on multiple devices such as tablets, mobile devices for access anywhere and at any time. So as I told you, the web-based, cloud-based version of Primavera P6 can be accessed anywhere in the world through your mobile, tabs, or even from your computer laptops. So Primavera P6 works on Windows as a desktop or web app with the enterprise option. So as I told you, the professional version you can use as a Windows on Windows, and the web as an enterprise option. Now we will discuss about the disadvantages of Primavera P6. It's very expensive. So as I told you earlier, it's very expensive. You are going to spend close to $3,000 a year for something you can get elsewhere for less financial investment. So it means Primavera P6 is expensive. For that, the people are moving to other softwares like MS Project. So that is the major drawback of Primavera P6. The complicated interface of Oracle's Primavera P6 also looks outdated and not up to the design and ease of use of its competition. So if you see the interface of Oracle Primavera P6, it is complicated. As I told you, you should have a proper training to use those options in Primavera P6. But comparing to other softwares, it will be very easy for a user to handle those interface. So this is also a big drawback for Primavera P6. There is a steep learning curve. Unlike other tools, it can take up to 40 hours to get comfortable on the device, and that is with the use of specialized trainers. So as I told you, it will take a lot of time to learn all the options, and you will have minimum 40 hours to get comfortable on the device, and that's with the use of specialized trainers. Primavera P6 is for Windows only. So that is also a big drawback for Primavera P6 because it will work only on Windows, Microsoft Windows operating system. So if you install on Mac iOS, it will not work. So users which puts Mac users out in the cold, making the tool immediately limited and denying whole industries that run on Apple products. So if you see now most of the companies are using Apple products. So those companies will not go for Primavera P6 software because it will not support their system. So it is also a big drawback for the Oracle company. P6 is cumbersome for smaller and simpler projects, seemingly interested only in the larger project sector. So for the expense of this big software, uh, Oracle is eyeing on the larger projects only because they know the price of the software is very high. So the smaller and simpler projects, companies, they will not buy their projects. So their interest is only on the larger project sector. Continuing on the disadvantages, the customer service could be better. At least there is a lot of chatter online from customers who feel the support needs to improve. So from their customer service side also, they are not that much effective as other products. Primavera P6 lacks a portfolio roadmap, which is a problem for managing portfolios, even though the product does have some features directly targeting this market. So they cannot say there is no portfolio roadmap in Primavera P6, but still they have some features for these group for portfolio roadmaps. So the next content that we are going to do is to how to start Primavera P6. So after installing your Primavera P6, you can type P6 in your start menu. So it will show you the P6 software like red color icon. You will see the P6 professional. So you can see that after the installation of the software. So after that, you can right click on that and you can open the file location where it has been saved in your hard disk. So from there, you can see the location where it has been saved. So after that, you can right click on that and send to desktop for your shortcut to easily open Primavera P6 whenever you want. So after adding the shortcut, you can see in the desktop, it will be appear. But the most recommended thing, if you are using Primavera P6 or any other software, pin that into your taskbar below, because the most frequently used softwares to be accessed in one click, you can make it on your taskbar. Normally, the password and login name will be admin and admin unless the IT person or from your side, if you change the username and password, it will be different. But defaultly, the password and the username will be admin and admin. So I will show you that one, how you can open Primavera P6. So it is asking login name, admin, and my password also same. So I will type it. So this is the interface of Primavera P6 projects. For example, I will open one project for you. So for example, you can see this project that has been created for the previous batch for power station construction. So you can see there are WBS activities and Gantt chart is on your right hand side. So this will be the project activities, durations, anything you can do with Primavera P6. So any questions related to Primavera P6? Miss Sabrina, you are there.
Good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good evening. Yes.
Will you provide us the software or we have to provide it by ourselves?
No, from the institute, there will be an IT guy who will contact you and he will install in your computer.
So that we can use it throughout the sessions. No?
Yes, yes. Even after the completion of the course also, you can continuously use that software.
We can continuously use it permanently.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Is it a official?
No, it will be a cracked version.
But it is normally working, no? Normally.
Yeah. Like we are using this Windows MS Office, no cracked version, something like that. Any other questions?
Are you going to do a full session on this? I mean, a full project?
Yeah. From at the end of this course, you will be able to create a full project from your own. You will create. So up to that level, we will train you. So from creating WBS, creating calendars, adding activities, assigning resources, relationships to the activities, and how to report, everything will be taught in this course. Any other questions? To apply
Sir,
a
how about
post,
the
yeah, yes. Okay, from Hari Krishna, he is asking to apply a postgraduate diploma in project management course in abroad. Is it useful? So this is actually totally a professional course for the project managers, construction managers, and planning engineers who wants to be in the project planning and control side. Or even for the engineers, it will be very useful. So it will not help you in your postgraduate diplomas or postgraduate degrees. But from your career side, it will help you to for your projects. This is just a diploma course for the professionals.
sir? How about the student activities, Primavera course activities?
Means we will have weekly 2 days lectures. So you will have in-class training. So if you want extra training also, I can give you assignments, or otherwise from in-class training, it will be given 100% for you to familiar with this Primavera P6 software. At the end of the project completion, you will be having one full final assignment, and if you complete that final assignment, you will get the certificate.
After successful
Thanks.
Excuse me, I have one question now. Do we need to have an idea on this Microsoft project to successfully handle this diploma?
Sorry, I didn't get you. Can you please repeat the question?
Yeah, my question is, do we need to have a knowledge on Microsoft project to successfully follow this diploma or this Primavera?
No need. You can start Primavera P6 without any knowledge on your planning experience. So we will train you without any single doubt to familiar with your Primavera P6 software. So don't worry, you don't need any experience or anything on project planning or scheduling. When the course will be over, you will be able to fully operate the Primavera P6 software.
Okay. So this will run for full 3 months, is it? If we start on
Yeah, it is started today means March. It will end on end of May. It will be completed.
Can
we
you
have we have 2 classes per week.
Yeah, per week, and it will be 8 to 10 p.m. Sri Lanka time.
Now, since we have started it on Saturday, will you be continuing on Saturdays or?
Yeah, Saturday it will continue, and the other class I think they will put on Mondays. Monday evening, 8 o'clock.
We can share the timetable with you, sir. All the timetables and the timing, we will let you know.
All right. Thank you.
And we have a Moodle system. So, did you explain about that?
No, I didn't explain about the portal, so you can explain the students, no issue.
So we do have a portal. where once you register with us, we will give you a username and login password. So you can join through that, and then you can access the whole class material as well as the lecture recordings. Let's say you did not attend for that particular week, we will be sharing you the links of each modules. So every recording sessions will be given to you. You can access to them anytime. And at the end of this course, we will have an assignment. So that we will have through a workshop. So after these 40 hours of work, you will have a workshop with our lecturer to be able to finish the assignment as well with 101. So it will be very easy for you all to finalize the assignment so that we can issue you the certification.
What is the recognition of this course in the industry up to now? I mean, what type of recognition we can after completion of this project, this course?
Yes, we have two actually. One is from the TVAC, which is recognized in the Sri Lankan government, and you can attest that from the Sri Lankan Foreign Ministry. And the other one is called the CPD UK, which is a 40 hours. You can have the training of that. That is a UK certification process. You will get the UK certification, which could be attested by British Council as well as Foreign Ministry of Sri Lanka. So internationally, well recognized both of it. And if you want to work here, usually they ask for the TVC certification, which we can have it as Diploma in Primavera P6.
So you award this one, or after completion of this course, we have to go by ourselves to take these certificates, or you will?
No, we will issue you the certificate, but the attestation from the Foreign Ministry and the British Council, you have to obtain.
All right. You provide us the diploma certificate. So along with that diploma certificate, we have to go to that particular institutions.
Yeah, it is like if you want to show someone this certificate is legal, so you need to have an attestation, unless it is not needed to go for any attestation. If someone want to go to abroad, yes, still they need to show the certificate as legal document. So they need attestation from the Foreign Ministry and as well as those embassies. So for those process only, they need this attestation. Unless you don't need any attestation for this certificate. If you are working locally, I don't think they will ask any company will ask any attestation.
Yes, if you are locally work, then of course you don't need to attest anything. You can just show the registered TVC number with our certification that is well approved. You can obtain a letter from the TVAC.
TVAC number is already included in that certificate, no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
You are
we will.
providing. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
And the course fee and everything is very clear, right?
Yeah, that is mentioned in that group. Oh, I saw it some. Yeah, in
Yes,
the
sir. Yes. Yes.
post.
We can, it is 5,000 registration fee along with 25,000 tuition fee. So altogether it is 30,000. You can either choose to pay installment or full. If you pay full, you can have a 10% discount. So are there any further questions? If we do not have any further questions, sir, we can conclude the session.
So the next lectures will be on when?
We can start by next month early, first week.
Okay. So please provide the timetable for everyone, so it will be easy for everyone to attend the classes.
We will get the software after that the registration.
Yeah.
process, no?
Yeah, I believe from the institute side, they will contact you and they will install before the next class. I believe like that.
Yes, all those who are interested, please be kindly, we have the hotline number. you can just put up a message to us. So then I can send you the application and then you can fill it and send. So then I can quickly proceed with the installation of the software along with your Moodle setup. I hope it is clear. So shall we conclude the session, sir?
Yes, thank you very much for attending this lectures. Hope you will continue in coming lectures. So I hope to see you on next coming lectures. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much for your
Thank you all for joining. Hope to see you all next time. Thank you so much. Good night.
good night.